When a man wakes before dawn, he wakes alone. No glory greets him, no applause follows him into the cold, only the quiet soil of the earth and the beating of a heart that refuses to die. The samurai knew this truth better than anyone. Your first enemy is always yourself, your doubt, your hesitation, your comfort, your weakness. Every day, the world tries to make a coward out of you. It whispers lies about ease, convenience, and the fantasy of a peaceful life free from struggle. But the warrior knows a life without struggle is a life without shape. Steel is not born smooth. It is beaten, burned, purified by force, and so are you. The samurai sharpened their blades not for the sake of violence, but for the sake of clarity. Every stroke on the whetstone was a reminder, if I am dull, I cannot cut through the obstacles before me. If I am soft, I cannot stand against the storms ahead. Most men want strength. Few want the suffering required to achieve it. Most men want respect. Few want the discipline required to earn it. Most men want peace. Few want to face the battles within that make peace possible. You do not rise by waiting for life to hand you purpose. You rise by carving it out of yourself, inch by brutal inch. Think of the ancient warriors walking through the mist, armor cold against their skin, breath slow, mind still. They weren't fearless. They were forged. They learned to hold their fear like a blade, not to run from it, but to wield it. Because fear is not the enemy. Fear is the boundary between who you are and who you must become. A man who avoids fear avoids growth. A man who avoids pain avoids evolution. A man who avoids discipline avoids greatness. You're not meant to live soft. You're meant to walk the razor's edge of self-mastery. Listen carefully. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to fix your life. No one is coming to hand you the discipline you lack. No one is coming to push you where you refuse to push yourself. The samurai trained every day as if tomorrow wasn't promised, because for them, it wasn't. Death stood beside them like a shadow, a silent reminder that every breath is borrowed, every second is a blade hanging overhead, and every moment wasted is a debt that cannot be repaid. What excuse do you have? You are not facing death at dawn. You are facing your own laziness. You are not battling armies. You are battling procrastination. You are not fighting warlords. You are fighting your own mind. And still, you fold. Still, you break. Still, you run from the smallest discomfort, like a leaf running from the wind. The samurai would laugh at the fragility of men today, crying about discipline, complaining about change, begging for a path that doesn't hurt. There is no path that doesn't hurt, not a path worth walking. A man becomes powerful when he stops expecting the path to be easy and starts preparing himself to be stronger. Samurai walked into storms with steady steps, not because they enjoyed the suffering, but because suffering is where the truth lives. If your life is falling apart, good, let it. That means the old version of you is dying. That means a stronger one is trying to take its place. But you must choose the rebirth. You must choose the discipline. You must choose the fire. Most people choose the ashes. Warriors choose to rise from them. There is a moment in every man's life where he realizes that no one cares about his excuses. No one cares about his pain. No one cares about the reasons he failed. The world remembers warriors for what they did, not what they felt. You are judged by your actions, not your intentions, not your dreams, not your potential. Only the steel you bring into reality. The samurai had a word for this, hisho. Victory at all costs. Not victory over others, victory over the self. You want discipline? Then stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is a luxury. Discipline is duty. You want strength? Then stop running from difficulty. A warrior becomes strong by walking directly into the pain everyone else avoids. You want peace? Then stop feeding the chaos in your mind. Peace comes from order. Order comes from discipline. Discipline comes from sacrifice. Remember this: the soft man breaks, the hard man endures, but the disciplined man conquers. The samurai knew that the mind is the sharpest blade. If you fail to master it, you will bleed from wounds you inflicted on yourself. Look at your life. Everything you hate about it is something you tolerated. Every weakness you carry is something you fed. Every regret you hold is the consequence of a choice you made when you were too lazy, too tired, or too afraid to do what needed to be done. Stop blaming the world. Stop blaming your past. Stop blaming fate. You are the cause. You are the cure. You are the weapon. You are the obstacle. You are the warrior. You are the coward. The difference between them is the path you choose now. A man becomes a warrior when he stops negotiating with his weakness. A man becomes a warrior when he holds himself accountable with the silence and brutality of a blade. A man becomes a warrior when he accepts that discomfort is the only teacher that never lies. Every morning you wake up is a battlefield. Every decision you make is a strike. Every habit you enforce is a victory. The samurai lived with a singular truth carved into their soul. If not now, when? There is no tomorrow. There is no perfect moment. There is no future version of you who magically has it together. There is only now. Only this breath. Only this choice. Warriors do not hope for strength. They train it. They bleed for it. They earn it. And so must you. Stand up. Straighten your spine. Feel the weight of your failures behind you and the weight of your responsibility in front of you. The path is not kind. It is not gentle. It is not warm. But it is yours. And if you walk it with discipline, with intention, with the cold resolve of a warrior, you will rise slowly, painfully, powerfully. Through ash, you ascend. A warrior's transformation does not begin with strength. It begins with surrender, not to weakness, but to truth. Most men live in denial. They cling to illusions of who they think they are, yet recoil when reality slices through their fantasy. But the samurai lived by a brutal code of introspection. Know yourself completely. Then cut away the parts that make you weak. This is not metaphor. This is the foundation of all mastery. You cannot become disciplined if you are still clinging to the version of yourself that created your chaos. That version of you must die. Its comforts, its habits, its excuses, its cowardice. Death before dishonor wasn't about the battlefield. It was about refusing to dishonor your own potential by living below it. Listen closely. You have dishonored yourself every time you chose comfort over growth. You have dishonored yourself every time you avoided responsibility. You have dishonored yourself every time you acted like you had infinite time. You don't. The samurai meditated on death daily, not out of morbidity, but out of clarity. They understood something modern men refuse to face. When you accept your death, you finally begin to live. When you understand that your days are numbered, you stop wasting them. When you understand that time is a blade pressed against your throat, you stop lying to yourself. When you understand that life is fragile, you stop being fragile yourself. Weakness is a choice. Cowardice is a choice. Discipline is a choice. Strength is a choice. But every choice has a cost. Most men want the reward without paying the price, and that is why they never rise. The samurai paid the price every day. There was no applause, no praise, no validation. Only the silent grind of becoming someone who could stand unshaken in the storm. The warrior does not work for the world's approval. He works so he can approve of himself. Ask yourself, if the man you could become walked into the room right now, would he recognize you? Would he be proud? Would he see discipline in your eyes or excuses on your back? Would he see a man of commitment or a man of intentions? Would he see someone forged by suffering or someone shattered by it? You know the truth, and it haunts you. The gap between who you are and who you pretend to be is where your misery breeds. Close it. This is not about perfection. Warriors aren't perfect. They bleed, they break, they lose. But they do not surrender. The world has enough soft men who crumble under their own emotions. Be the man who stands. Be the man who doesn't fold. Be the man who keeps walking long after his excuses fall silent. And understand this. You will not always feel strong. You will not always feel courageous. You will not always feel motivated. But the samurai did not rely on feelings. They relied on duty, honor, oaths made in solitude, promises forged in silence. Your feelings are weather, let them pass. Your discipline is the mountain, let it stand. There is a darkness within every man, the part of him capable of destruction, violence, rage, cold indifference. Weak men fear this shadow. Warriors master it. You must learn to wield the darkness within you without becoming consumed by it. Channel your aggression into creation. Channel your anger into discipline. Channel your pain into power. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your compass. Where it hurts the most is exactly where you need to grow. Your fear shows you what you must confront. Your weakness shows you what you must build. Your regret shows you where you betrayed yourself. Every emotion, every frustration, every insecurity is a message from the battlefield inside your mind. Listen, interpret, respond with action. The world softens men. The warrior sharpens himself. The world says, take it easy. The warrior says, earn your rest. The world says, it's too hard. The warrior says, then it's worth it. The world says, you have time. The warrior says, time is slipping through your fingers. If you want to rise, you must reject the mindset of the ordinary. You must walk the path of chosen suffering, not because suffering is virtuous, but because growth demands it. Your highest self is not found in pleasure. It is found in perseverance. You will lose friends when you choose discipline. Let them go. You will face isolation when you choose purpose. Stand firm. You will encounter doubt when you choose growth. Cut it down. Remember, the warrior walks alone long before he walks above. People will call you cold. Let them. People will say you changed. Good. People will not understand your hunger. They're not meant to. They do not hear the war inside you. They do not feel the fire you carry. They do not see the future you're building. They do not walk the path you walk. But the warrior does not need their understanding. He needs only his resolve. And resolve is born in darkness. Long before the world sees your rise, you must survive your own night. Do not fear it. Do not run from it. Walk through it with slow, deliberate steps. Because on the other side of that night is the version of you that you keep dreaming about, but never committing to. And if you refuse to walk through your darkness, you get to keep your excuses. You get to keep your mediocrity. You get to keep your regrets. You get to keep everything that is breaking you. But if you walk through it, you reclaim your power. You reclaim your story. You reclaim your life. This path is merciless, it is cold, it is thankless, it is quiet. But so is a blade before it strikes. The warrior does not shout his strength, he embodies it. He does not announce his discipline, he demonstrates it. He does not beg for change, he becomes it. Your life is your battlefield. Your decisions are your warriors. Your habits are your armor. Your discipline is your sword. Wield them, because every breath you take is one breath closer to the man you refuse to die without becoming. Walk forward. Walk with weight. Walk with intention. Walk with honor. And no matter how dark the path becomes, through ash you ascend. There comes a moment in every warrior's life when the battlefield is no longer outside of him, but within him. No sword, no armor, no shield can protect you from the war inside your own mind. This is the battle that breaks most men, because here, there is nowhere to run. The samurai walked into that inner war willingly. They understood, if you cannot face yourself, you cannot face the world. The external enemy is easy. You can see him, hear him, strike him. But the internal enemy, he knows every weakness. He speaks in your own voice. He hides behind your ego, your trauma, your pride, your fears, your comfort. He waits patiently because he knows that one moment of hesitation is all it takes for you to collapse. You feel him, that voice telling you to rest when you haven't earned it, that whisper telling you to quit because it's too hard, that soft poison convincing you that your goals don't matter, that your effort is pointless, that you will never become the man you're trying to be. Weak men obey that voice. Warriors confront it, not with anger, but with awareness, not with denial, but with discipline. Your internal enemy is not defeated by emotion. He is defeated by action, by routine, by structure, by the relentless repetition of habits that destroy everything he feeds on. He thrives on your inconsistency. He starves when you show up every day. He thrives on your excuses. He starves when you hold yourself accountable. He thrives on your comfort. He starves when you lean into discomfort on purpose. The samurai had a name for this inner battle, Naiteki no Sensō, the war within. They approached it with the same seriousness as any physical combat, because they knew, if you win the war within, no enemy outside can touch you. But if you lose the war within, no enemy outside needs to touch you. You will destroy yourself. Discipline is not a skill. It is not motivation. It is not a mindset. Discipline is a punishment you choose for yourself because you refuse to stay weak. Modern men seek the easy path, the convenient path, the padded, sheltered, painless path. They dull their instincts. They soften their spirit. They bend under pressure instead of becoming pressure. A warrior seeks the path that forces him to grow, the path that tests his endurance, the path that strips away delusion and reveals the core beneath. The samurai understood something that you must tattoo onto your soul. Growth is unnatural. Left alone, a man does not rise, he decays. Without purpose, you drift. Without structure, you dissolve. Without struggle, you shrink. Every day, you avoid difficulty. You surrender a piece of your potential. Every day, you choose comfort. You bury a part of your strength. Every day, you waste your time. You steal from your future. The world will not carry you. It will not push you. It will not save you. The world only respects men who carry themselves. Ask yourself, when did you stop demanding more of yourself? When did you let softness become acceptable? When did you decide survival was enough and excellence was too much? You were not born to drift through life hoping to avoid discomfort. You were born to command yourself, to shape yourself, to walk the path that lesser men flee from. That is why you feel restless, why you feel unfulfilled, why you feel like something inside you is unfinished. Because it is. The warrior inside you is suffocating. You've buried him under distraction, under indulgence, under fear, under excuses. He is waiting for you to remember what you are, waiting for you to reclaim the discipline you once had but abandoned, waiting for you to stop living like a man who has been defeated by his own comfort. The samurai believed in kaizen, relentless, uncompromising self-improvement. Not improvement when it's convenient. Not improvement when they felt inspired. Improvement because staying the same was the first step toward dishonor. Hear this clearly. If the man you were yesterday is the same man you are today, you have failed. Your mind must become sharper. Your spirit must become quieter. Your discipline must become heavier. Your resolve must become colder. You are not in competition with anyone else. The only man you must surpass is the one staring back at you. And he fears the day you finally decide to outrun him. He fears the day you finally wake up with purpose. He fears the day you stop giving in. He fears the day you stop surrendering. He fears the day you realize your potential was never gone. You were simply too weak to claim it. Until now. Every warrior has a moment where he chooses the path permanently, not as a trial, not as a phase, not as a temporary burst of discipline, but as a vow to transform, a vow to commit, a vow to rise. This is not motivation. This is declaration. Your life will not change because you want it to. Your life will change because you force it to. The samurai carved their destiny with daily actions, daily sacrifices, daily discipline. You must do the same. Let the weak part of you die. Let the soft part of you fade. Let the old version of you collapse under the weight of the man you are becoming. And when your doubt tries to cling to you, cut it down. When fear rises in your chest, stand taller. When temptation pulls you back, walk forward until it can no longer touch you. Remember, a warrior is not defined by his victories, but by his willingness to continue the fight long after everyone else has surrendered. Stand alone if you must. Walk in silence if you must. Bleed in private if you must, but move, advance, ascend, because every step you take is a step away from the man who wasted his potential and a step toward the man who finally fulfills it. The path is brutal, the path is lonely, the path is merciless, but so is greatness. Keep walking, keep rising, keep transforming, and no matter how deep the darkness becomes, through ash you ascend. There is a truth the samurai understood that modern men run from with everything they have. Transformation requires death, not physical death, but the death of your former self, the death of who you were, the death of the man who wasted time, the man who feared discipline, the man who folded under pressure, the man who lived half awake and pretended he was alive. That man cannot follow you where you are going. He has to fall. He has to break. He has to be buried so something stronger can rise in his place. This is the cost of evolution. This is the true price of becoming a warrior, not the sword training, not the long nights, not the discipline, not the silence, but the sacrifice of letting go of the weak identity you've clung to for far too long. Most men never ascend because they refuse to let that old identity die. They mourn their potential instead of fighting for it. They blame the world instead of rebuilding themselves. They live inside narratives that shrink them, deceive them, and imprison them. But a warrior has no interest in remaining who he used to be. He is willing, without hesitation, to destroy the parts of himself that dishonor his future. You must do the same. You must take responsibility for every scar your life carries. The wound you ignored, the habit you fed, the fear you protected, the comfort you worshipped, the promise you broke, the discipline you abandoned, the time you wasted, every piece of it. Own it, all of it. Because until you claim responsibility, you cannot claim power. The samurai called this kenkai, a clear view of one's own nature, a ruthless, honest analysis of your own soul, a stripping away of every lie you tell yourself to avoid the pain of truth. And for most men, that truth is devastating. You are not tired. You are undisciplined. You are not lost. You are unfocused. You are not weak. You are untrained. You are not broken. You are unwilling. The warrior speaks to himself like this because he understands a hard truth. Soft words soften men. Hard words harden them. And life respects only the hardened. Walk into any storm unprepared and you will break. Walk into it forged and you will be the storm. This is why warriors train in silence, why they rise before dawn, why they embrace discomfort, why they pursue mastery instead of acceptance. They are not preparing for battle. They are preparing for life. Life will test you more brutally than any sword ever could. It will strike you without warning. It will take from you without apology. It will bury you under obligations, loss, pressure, failure, and moments that expose exactly who you are when the world collapses beneath your feet. And in those moments, the truth is revealed. Either you are a warrior or you are nothing. A warrior does not avoid difficulty. He walks toward it, slow, deliberate, unshaken. Not because he enjoys pain, but because he knows the version of him on the other side is worth every second of suffering. Modern men waste their lives trying to escape discomfort. Warriors use it as their greatest weapon. Modern men seek validation. Warriors seek clarity. Modern men chase pleasure. Warriors chase purpose. Modern men break under pressure. Warriors become pressure. Hear this. No man has ever risen from a life of comfort. Comfort is the enemy of transformation. Comfort is the thief of potential. Comfort is the silent killer of everything you could be. A warrior chooses discomfort because it is the whetstone of the soul. It sharpens you. It cuts away your excuses. It reveals your character. If you want a different life, you must become a different man. Not tomorrow, not later, not when you're ready. Now, because readiness is a lie. Strength is earned in motion, not in waiting. And when life strikes, and it will, you will not rise to the occasion. You will fall to your level of training. So, train relentlessly, discipline mercilessly, cut away weakness ruthlessly. Your family may not understand. Your friends may not understand. The world may not understand. But the path of the warrior was never meant to be understood by those who refuse to walk it. You feel different for a reason. You want more for a reason. You crave discipline for a reason. You respond to darkness differently than others for a reason. That is the warrior inside you calling you back to the path, calling you back to duty, calling you back to the man you were always meant to become. And this time, you will not abandon him. You will rise with intention, with precision, with focus, with a cold fire that burns quietly but endlessly. You will remove the distractions that dilute your spirit. You will silence the noise that clouds your mind. You will break the habits that betray your potential. You will sever the attachments that anchor you to mediocrity. You will choose discipline over desire, duty over comfort, purpose over pleasure, honor over validation, growth over acceptance. And with each choice, you will feel something shifting deep inside you: your posture, your breath, your presence, your spirit. You will feel yourself becoming someone heavier, someone calmer, someone clearer, someone stronger, a man with weight, a man with command, a man with discipline carved into the very shape of his soul. And when the world tries to pull you back, when old habits claw at your ankles, when old weaknesses beg you to return, when old comforts whisper your name, you will not move, you will not bend, you will not retreat, because you finally understand what the samurai lived and died by. A warrior's path is not chosen once. It is chosen every day, every hour, every breath. And the man who chooses it again and again, despite pain, despite fear, despite loneliness, despite uncertainty, that is the man who rises, not quickly, not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily, silently, unstoppably. And when the world finally sees him, they call it strength. They call it discipline. They call it transformation. But he knows the truth. He was forged in darkness long before the world ever noticed his light. Walk now. Walk with the weight of purpose. Walk with the calm of a sharpened mind. Walk with the silence of a blade unsheathed. Walk with the discipline of a man who has promised himself he will never return to who he once was. And as your doubts burn, as your fears crumble, as your weaknesses fall to ash, remember the vow, remember the path, remember the ending that belongs to you and you alone. Through ash, you ascend.